I'm Lucie Fink, and this week is 5 days of spring cleaning. And yes, even though it's spring, it's currently snowing in New York City.
Time to clean.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Try Living with Lucie. If you haven't subscribed to Refinery29 yet, click right here and subscribe now. I cut my hair, I got bangs, I even spring cleaned my hairstyle. I know that it's already technically been spring for a few weeks now, and it's snowing outside, so this is a weird spring. But no matter what time of year it is when you watch this video, it is never too late to start cleaning. I don't know about you, but in the winter time, everything seems to pile up around my apartment. I don't know why, but it always becomes a mess. So each day in this 5-day challenge is going to be dedicated to a different physical space of mine, whether that be my kitchen, my bathroom, my bedroom, and more. Before we start, I just want to point out, spring cleaning doesn't have to be purely physical. So if you're looking for a mental clear out of sorts, here are a few other things you can do. Cutting out toxic relationships and drama, cutting all negative talk and gossip, ending the negative thoughts about yourself, and finally, eliminating your bad habits. I have actually done a ton of mental clearing recently with 5 days of self-care, and I've been working on my bullet journal. And because of that, I wanted to focus this video on the physical spaces. But just know, spring cleaning can happen up here too. My bedroom. My bedroom is the first thing I see when I open my eyes in the morning, and it's the last thing that I see before I go to sleep at night. And Gretchen Rubin, the author of The Happiness Project, wrote a whole piece about how outer order contributes to inner calm. So here's what I did today. I started out by dealing with the clutter on the side of my bed. For some reason, a ton of stuff tends to pile up right there and on the windowsill. So I cleared all of that away. Next, I got to work on my closets. A Refinery29 article that tells you where you should be focusing your spring cleaning efforts based on your sign tells me that since I'm a Leo, I should be focusing on my closet. And as you guys might know from 5 days of capsule wardrobe, I already dealt with that big problem. I already donated 75% of my clothing, so my closet's not that bad right now, it's just a little bit messy. I refolded all the clothes. I also removed items that were really wintry, like heavy sweaters, hats, and scarves. And I added some swimsuits back into my closet for spring and summer. In my wall closet, which has a storage space up above, I removed all the items that have begun accumulating there, and I put them into a storage unit in my building. I vacuumed my entire carpet, took my studio lights that have been clogging up my bedroom and put those in the storage unit as well. When I was done with all of that, I stripped everything from my bed. All the pillowcases, the blanket cover, the sheet, the mattress pad, everything. Then I put all the linens in the wash, and side note, don't jump on your bed because you might break something like I did. Now I need a whole new casing for my outlet. And while everything was in the wash, I wiped down the windowsill, I washed the windows, which is something I can confidently say I have never done since I moved in here. And I also cleared out the drawers on our nightstands, and I put anything that was on top that didn't need to be out on top into the drawers. And when the laundry was done, I put it back on the bed, and it all looked so fresh and new. And for each of the spaces I cleaned this week, I'm gonna give you a few Lucie's leftover tips, which are things that I myself didn't do, but you should try. So for the bedroom, one thing you can try is flipping and rotating your mattress if it's not too heavy. 2, cleaning your light fixtures and replacing the bulbs. And 3, wiping down any artwork. I'd say that for me, the kitchen is the place in my apartment that always has the highest risk of getting dirty. I love food, pizza, and cupcakes. Mostly pizza. And if you follow me on Instagram stories, you'll see that I'm very active in my kitchen. So I love to cook, I love trying new recipes, and it's pretty much always a mess in there. Oops. Also, throughout this 5-day challenge, I wanted to make sure that not only was I using safe and non-toxic cleaners, but that I was also doing my part as best as I could to reduce my waste. So I connected with Lauren Singer, the Zero Waste Girl, and she sent me a few of her favorite items from her package-free shop in Brooklyn. Firstly, this glass spray bottle, which has right on it the directions for a 3-ingredient, non-toxic, all-purpose cleaner. It's just vinegar, water, and essential oils. And also these reusable cotton cloths to reduce my use of paper towels. I started out by clearing out the items that had begun to accumulate on my counter space, and once that was all clean, I moved over to the stovetop and oven region. Then I moved on to the appliances on my countertop, so the toaster, the coffee machine, my blender, and then over to the sink area. One area on my sink that I never remember to clean is the backsplash, so I did that very diligently today. And then I cleared out my pantry. This cabinet becomes almost like a dumping ground for me for food that I don't think I want right now, but I think I might be hungry for at some point in the future. And eventually the cabinet is sort of bulging out. The doors don't really close properly, so I gotta fix that. I went through everything shelf by shelf. I even wiped down the shelves as I went, and I discarded all expired food. At the end, I restocked it very neatly with food that I actually eat. Remember that cabinet that I organized in my kitchen during 5 days of adulting? Well, I gave it a little upgrade today by changing some of the food in it to fit my current taste, and I also replenished all of the empty containers. And then it was time for the fridge and the freezer. I set my food waste aside for composting, and then I took out all expired foods. Lastly, I cleaned up the floor with a dustpan, and then I got to work on my hands and knees, and I scrubbed the floor very meticulously. In terms of the kitchen, here are 3 Lucie's leftover tips that I didn't get around to. Number 1, clean out any of your glass jars and use them as reusable water bottles or for meal prep. Number 2, replace any of your saran wrap with plastic-free beeswax wrap. And number 3, reorganize your pots and pans, because I know how cluttered that space can get and it is not fun. The living room is the main hangout area of our apartment, so most of our friends that come over sit on the couch or at the kitchen table. And let's be real, the whole vibe of an apartment can pretty much be determined based on that living space. So for that reason, and also for my own sanity, I had to clean that place up. Starting with the couch, I refluffed all of the pillows and then folded the blankets neatly. Then I moved on to the coffee table, which was cluttered up with mail and books and papers and all sorts of things. I also had my bullet journal supplies scattered all over the floor, so I cleaned everything up and put it into my supply box. Another one of my lights was cluttering the living room, so I moved that into storage too. And then it was time for the bookshelf. The bookshelf! This is a big moment, everyone. Wait until you see what I did here. Michael loves books. He loves buying books. He loves reading books. I love that about him, but it has become a messy thing. We have books in the bookshelf, we have books in between the bookshelf, we got books behind the TV, on the windowsill, on the coffee table, books, 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 books. So I was inspired by a place I went to this weekend to take all of my books out of the cabinet and then reorganize them by color. I know that it sounds really intense, but when you have enough books to do this, it looks really good. I made a white shelf and a blue shelf and a black shelf. Then I put a few gray books on my end table, and then I made a red to yellow gradient on the windowsill. And all of the extra books that didn't fit into any of these categories were put behind the TV in a neat stack. Next, I took out the vacuum and I got the entire area rug. I even got under the couch and also under the rug. Then I washed the windowsills and the windows, and I straightened out the paintings on the wall, and that was it. So, Lucie's leftover tips for your living space. Number 1, try washing the couch cushions and the pillowcases. 2, clean your television screen. And 3, sanitize your remote controls. When I was done, I opened all the windows, then I saged down the entire apartment, and now it looks so clean and it smells so fresh, and I am so happy. That's right. That is good. Happy Thursday! I read a Refinery29 article that says having a messy desk could be a sign that you're a creative genius. Now, if this is true, this is very good news for me. Very good news. Some people love working in messy environments where their ideas are scattered around on paper all around them. When things are neat and tidy and orderly, I can let my creative flag fly. But when they're not like that, I am just jambalaya. So today was a day for a major desk cleanup. My desk was especially messy today because I had a ton of props floating around on it from shoots. So I had papers floating on my desk, a lot of food, a ton of makeup props for Snapchat, old boxes that I hadn't broken down, and so much more.
I don't even know what this is.
First things first, before I even started to tackle this, I got rid of things that I didn't need. I actually had to keep a little bit more than I wanted at my desk because a ton of these items are props that are used for everyday shoots, but I started out by going through my items and I separated out a donation pile, and then based on what was remaining, I put things into 4 bins. 1 bin was for food when I'm hungry at work. 1 bin was all of the beauty products and makeup props. 1 was for my markers and writing supplies. And the last was just special things that I want to keep, but I don't know where to put them. I separated everything into those bins, and then for some leftover props, I brought them over to the Refinery29 prop closet. Next, I went through my desk and I cleared out things that I did not need before I organized everything else.
Not sure how that got there.
When it comes to clearing out your office space, it's really the little things that help put your mind at ease, like finally replacing that tape dispenser with some fresh tape, or pouring out month-old candy that's just clogging the place up, wiping down your computer screen, cracking the window open. And here are 3 Lucie's leftover tips for cleaning your desk area. 1, create new desk organizers. 2, spruce up your space with some plants and greenery. And 3, make a bullet journal. You guys know that I love my Bujo. Happy Friday. I completely take back what I said about the kitchen being the place that's the most prone to getting dirty. The real place in my apartment that's the most prone is the bathroom. I'm really good about cleaning my towels regularly and keeping that sink area neat, and I also love taking baths, so I'm pretty diligent about cleaning the tub regularly. But I'm a maximalist when it comes to products. So spring cleaning my bathroom for me is about paring down. Starting with the sink, I cleared off whatever was on top. Then I scrubbed all around the rim and the inside of the sink. Don't forget the handles. Then I completely cleared out the area underneath my sink, which has all of my hair tools and my makeup and my towels. Then I moved on to the shower. I recycled all of the empty bottles, cleaned around the rim of the tub, and then I got into the nitty-gritty tile grout using a toothbrush. I also, for the first time ever, cleaned my shower head. Then I moved on to the medicine cabinet. I cleared everything out to wash the shelves. I threw away expired medicines and I put back only what I needed. And I made a shopping list for first aid essentials that I needed to replenish. Next, I scrubbed the mirrors and then the dreaded toilet. I cleaned up the area around the toilet, and then I also replaced the stray toilet paper roll with a little container. And then I went to town on that toilet using a toilet brush that I got from Package Free Shop. I cleaned the inside, I cleaned the outside, the top, the bottom, the whole shebang. I put a new fresh head on my rose gold Quip electric toothbrush and replaced my empty toothpaste with a new one. And lastly, I mopped the floor using washable and reusable mop pads from Package Free Shop.
I'm out.
And just like that, my entire apartment was spotless. Lucie's leftover tips for the bathroom. Number 1, clean or change your shower curtain. Number 2, switch to all natural and zero waste soaps, shampoos, and body washes. And number 3, unclog your drains, because we know how much hair gets stuck in there. Comment below to let us know how you clean your place in the springtime. And as always, let me know what you want to see me try next time for 5 days at a time. I am not going to do my typical kiss because glove was recently in the toilet. Even though I cleaned it, it's always gonna be tainted. Hey YouTube, thanks for watching. Click here for another video on Refinery29, here to subscribe to our YouTube channel, and here for my personal YouTube channel. See you next time, bye.